Hey, Chris Lambert here, and this is the March 6, 2018 Kanye West News Roundup. And real fast before we get going, I just want to say that Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, is going to be at South by Southwest on March 13th at 9:30 in the morning, doing a live show on the South by Southwest and TuneIn podcast stage. If you want, you'll be able to listen live via TuneIn. So we'll have information about that on our Twitter account. We'll probably make a video for here, if you're interested. Exciting for us. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do. Stressful. But in terms of Kanye news, let's get into that. First up, Yeezy Mafia had some interesting news today. They tweeted out that stockists were invited to a showroom that was empty. It was an unexpected meeting explaining that there won't be any apparel or accessories for Season 7, as Kanye West couldn't do what he wanted to achieve with this collection. And the following tweets that Yeezy Mafia put out were just kind of like joking on the idea that they just showed up to an empty room, expecting to see like the newest season of Kanye and really excited. Instead, they're just like, yeah, thanks for coming. Nothing. There's nothing here. Now go home. And they had to fly, which is absurd. So hypebay.com had an article, Teresa Lamb, and an update was, according to sources at Yeezy, the showroom space actually has a selection of Season 7 footwear, which is women's footwear, on display despite the absence of apparel and accessories. Stay with us for more information on the new shoe styles. And I think it's, heels and boots are what Yeezy Mafia said was there. So we'll see what happens. In the Hype article, they talk about how Kim was spotted in Japan wearing Yeezy Season 7 clothing. So the fact that it made it to the point where Kim was wearing it in public, but then Kanye deemed it not good enough to actually show is, I guess, dramatic. It at least leads to some questions and wondering. So we'll follow that story and see how it develops. I don't know how I didn't lead with this. Team Kanye Daily, as ever, watchful and amazing on how up-to-date they are with everything. Followed up that King Louie's manager, Daryl, Instagrammed a photo that's sound equipment being set up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where Kanye is, where King Louie is, and Tony Williams currently is, and Kanye's engineer. So, I think it's happening. Which is insane. Oh my goodness. I can't really talk now because I'm paralyzed by excitement over the fact that we may be getting a new Kanye album soonish. So that's exciting. Tony Williams was just skiing in Jackson Hole, so maybe he's just there coincidentally, but I think we know why he's there. I think we know. There's an article on Fader by David Renshaw. Chance the Rapper says he's made amazing music with Childish Gambino, and he might have been working with Kanye. So, he was talking about working with Donald Glover, and then the article says Chance is a little more evasive when asked about working with Kanye West. So the MCA Chicago, which hosted the event, the Museum of Contemporary Art, said, "We know Kanye has some new music coming. Are you working with him on anything?" And Chance responded with, I guess. And then MCA Chicago said, "What's the most significant creative insight you learned from Kanye West?" And Chance said, "He showed me how to multitask and use the studio for more than making music. He'll rent out a whole studio and fill it up with different projects. There was a whole room full of people on laptops. I don't know what they were doing. I met one lady who was working on the Lego movie, and she was talking to, get this, a magician. They were talking about how to make Kanye disappear during a show. which, like, holy fuck, that's some next level stuff. Like, how to make Kanye disappear? Could you imagine? I thought Say Pablo was cool. But if Kanye disappears, if Kanye becomes, I mean, he's already magical, right? But if he starts doing magic during his performances, I don't even know how I'll stay alive. Oh, whew. But the multitasking thing makes sense. I think everybody that you hear talk about Kanye and that has worked with Kanye mentions that he's very multifaceted, which is one of the things that probably led to the sleep deprivation, is that because he's constantly working on so much, there's always something to do. It's not like he kind of just cracks his knuckles and is like, well, I worked on the one thing I have to work on. Like, that was my 9 to 5, time to just relax and go to bed. It's like, no, there's this, there's this, there's this. What about this idea? What about this idea? Must be chaotic, but I'm sure it's exciting as hell. One day, one day I'll get to see it. Then we just have one last thing. This is from the Public Radio of Armenia. It's an article from March 2nd by Saranush Gazanchayan. Sorry if I said that wrong. But it's Kanye West supports Armenian American art magnate. And this follows up on the Gagosian Gallery, and that it's owned by famed Armenian American art dealer Larry Gagosian. I really should have looked this up. Who was once listed number 1 on Forbes' top 10 art dealers. And the author says how Kanye has leaned into his newly acquired cultural heritage and shown lots of love for the Armenian community since joining the Kardashian family. And it mentions how Kanye had performed a free concert in the capital of Yerevan during the 2015 trip with Kim. And that's where you might remember where Kanye, in the middle of the performance, I don't know why I have to do that. I'll stop doing that. Ran while holding the microphone. That's why I'm doing that. Ran and jumped into the lake. Jumps into Swan Lake while performing. And the mic kind of cuts out. I keep wanting to do it. The mic kind of cuts out. And he just is galloping in the water, looking like a king. A goddamn king. A wet king. But a king nonetheless. So it's cool to see another country talking about Kanye. And especially, I know that the Kardashians, from what I've seen recently, have been more involved with their Armenian heritage. And to see the Public Radio of Armenia give a positive press to Kanye is good, and that Kanye is also embracing that heritage. Cool shit. That does it. If you have any topics or anything you want us to go over in any of these episodes, send them our way. Follow us on Twitter at Kanye Podcast. You can check here for news updates Monday through Thursday, and our episode on the Glory dropped today. So if you're a Kanye West fan, maybe, then you may want to say, sign me up, Mr. President, and go listen to our episode on the Glory. It's very good, very detailed breakdown. I think you'll get a kick out of it. I think so. All right, until then, as I lean forward and the lighting gets just harsher and uglier, stay wavy, keep it loopy. See ya.